What's up YouTube? In this video I'll show you how I make my thumbnails. I think they're pretty clean. They're really easy to make and you don't need Photoshop for this, so you don't have to spend any money. It's totally free. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to do is load into a private match. Make sure that you have like a nice camo on one of your guns. I'm gonna do the HRM with the Interstellar on it. And then load up a map where like the lighting is like pretty good and stuff. I always like to do it on Greece. You have like a lot of sunshine and stuff on that map, so I think the gun comes out looking like really good. Also pick an operator that you like. So one operator that I actually really like is this Nova operator on Specru. Hold on, right there. She has like wristbands and stuff, or bracelets on her wrist, so I think that always looks really clean in thumbnails. So that's the operator I'm gonna go with. Right, so when you made it to the private match, go into your graphic settings. You don't need to do this. I set mine to full screen borderless because I'm gonna be using snipping tool. If you have a print screen button on your keyboard, use that one. I have a 60% keyboard, so I don't have a print screen button, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to get like a nice thumbnail, but this is how you work around it. So yeah, select full screen borderless if you don't have one, then change your render resolution to like the highest possible. It makes your gun look a lot cleaner. I usually like increasing my VRM scale target a little bit, and then change these settings to high: texture resolution, texture filter, and a nice tropic, detail quality level, particle resolution, and then the most important one, screen space reflections. This setting is gonna make your camo look really nice. So I usually just change these settings, and my frames are gonna go down a lot because I'm playing on very high like render resolution with high settings right now. But yeah, once you have this, look for some good lighting, or like wherever your gun looks the best. So I kind of just like walk around. I like having it in the sun. So like this angle, for example, like my gun looks really good this way. So once you do that, if you have a print screen button, use that one to take a screenshot while you do like some animation with it. You can like spam the button or whatever. I have to time mine perfectly with like inspecting my weapon. So to inspect your weapon on your controller, you hold down the left D-pad. Then you take a screenshot, and then I'll catch you guys once I have my screenshot, and then I'll tell you what I do in Photopea. So now that I've got my screenshot, I don't have Photoshop, I don't pay for anything, so I actually just went to photopea.com. On their website you can actually install their application, so that's what we'll be using for today's video. It's very similar to Photoshop, and it's free, which is why I'm using it. So this is the screenshot that I ended up with. I like getting my screenshots like mid animation or something. So once we reach this stage, you're just gonna go over here to the pen tool. Make sure to zoom in a little bit on your gun, and start outlining your gun, because you're gonna want to cut it out at some point. So just connect the dots, just only select the gun, like the path of the gun, and then once I'm done with that, I'll tell you guys what to do next. Alright, so once we're done with that, we want to connect the dots again. So let me just connect where I was at the end is here, and then it's gonna go over here and here. Once you have this selected, click make selection, OK, and then just click Ctrl and J. That is gonna make a new layer, and if you exit out of the, or if you make the background invisible, you'll just be left with what your gun is. Now that we've done this, we can just delete our background. we want to delete the work path that we made. And then inside this layer, we want to see if there's any pieces that we need to cut out again. And I can tell over here, this little thing, we want to get rid of this. So we're just going to do the same thing again here. Okay, so once you have it outlined again, click the make selection again, click OK. And then instead of pressing Ctrl J, just press the delete button here. So that's going to get rid of that. Once you do that, you want to get rid of your work path again. Throw that in the recycle bin or the trash. And then you're going to want to do the same thing for this little area down here. If you don't have any like background or whatever in your picture, you don't have to do this. But I'm just telling you how to do this because it is very difficult to figure out how to get rid of like these little holes. So now that we have this, I actually want to go ahead and just save this and reopen it. I always have a lot of issues if I want to like throw filters on this, it doesn't work or whatever. So I just save it and then come back to it to apply the filters. So save changes and then reopen it again. So now that we have this ready, I want to go ahead and look for a picture of like a map or whatever that we can use as the background, and then we're gonna throw some filters on there and it's gonna look really clean. I like to just go on Google and look up like Call of Duty map, MW3 or whatever, go to like Call of Duty's website, and they always have like a lot of pictures on their blogs and websites about like the maps. You also have them about like Fortune's Keep, Vondel, the Orzikistan if you're playing Warzone. So I just like to pick one of these pictures. So let's say this picture, I like this picture, I'm gonna use it as my background. All I wanna do is save it and then open and place it in Photopea, which I'll show you in 1 second. So now that we've saved the picture, you want to go ahead and click File, Open and Place, and then select the picture from there. What you want to do is you want to get the guns above the background, because whatever's like at the top is what's going to show first. So like, let's say you want to add text behind your guns, make sure that the text is under your guns and above your background. So first we're gonna just apply some filters to the background. What I like to do is select the terminal picture and then, or like whatever picture you have for the background, go to blur and then go to Gaussian blur. This is gonna give you nice, like a nice blurry background. I always think the sweet spot is around like 12 pixels, something like that. You can still see that it's terminal, but yeah, it makes your gun stand out a lot more. So just click OK on that. And then from there, we're gonna go down here to the new adjustment layer and we're gonna change some settings here. So I usually just play around with this a little bit. Like I'll add a little bit of brightness, a little bit of contrast. I've never done any like Photoshop class or whatever. I just kind of like play around with it, see what I like, see what looks the cleanest, and then go from there. One tip that I will give you, this is something I learned from another YouTube video. If you go to curves and go to custom, and then on each of these curves you want to like pull it down slightly over here and then slightly above this line. So you want to put it above this line right over here and under this line right over here. You're going to do that for red, green and blue, and then your colors are going to pop a lot more. So see how it's like the colors look a lot better, like they stand out a lot more. I personally like that a lot, so I figured I'd give you guys the tip as well. Yeah, then from there you could just like play around with these things a little bit. Like I said, I don't really think there's a right or wrong of doing this. I just like yeah, I just like playing around with it, seeing what looks good and stuff. So that's the background done. I actually think it looks pretty clean like this. So once we're done with this, we can move on to the gun. Okay, so now that we get to the gun, we're gonna select the gun, click filter, and click on sharpen. It's gonna make your gun look a lot cleaner and like this layer a lot cleaner. Once we do that, we wanna add some filters down here. So if we click this, make sure that you, if you're on this, click your Alt and left click at the same time. That means you're gonna get this arrow down, which means that it's only gonna apply to your gun and not to the background. So that's very important that like once you do this, click Alt and your left mouse click so that it only applies to your gun. If this arrow is there, it will only apply to your gun. If you don't see that arrow, it's gonna apply it to the whole picture. So adding contrast is gonna look like really sick for like a camo like this. So I'm just gonna turn my contrast all the way up, and then I'm just gonna keep my brightness around the same. Yeah, around the same. Then we're gonna go to curves. We're gonna do that again. Make sure to click your Alt and thing while you're on this again, so you see the arrow, so it only applies to your gun. We're gonna change these little curves again. Make the colors pop a lot more. So it already looks super clean to me now, but we're gonna add some more filters and then see if we can make it look even better. So don't forget to press Alt while you're editing it. So yeah, I really like it the way it looks right now. So I'm just not gonna play around with it anymore. So yeah, once we're done with that and you wanna like get some text or something in there, I'll show you how to do that. But first, we're gonna go to blending options, and then I always like to add outer glow to my gun, make this color white. It's gonna look a lot cleaner. And then, like I said, I have never learned how to do Photoshop, so I just kind of play around with this. See whatever feels good to you or like looks good to you. I like having like a little outer glow, not too much, so that's way too much to me. But like something like this, like you barely see it, but you can still see it. It makes it like stand out a little bit more. Now that we've got this picture, we can start getting rid of like this gun sign, all these little things down here. So for that, we're gonna go to Spot Healing Brush tool, and then we're gonna zoom in a little bit, and we're gonna make sure that it looks clean and you don't see the gun and stuff anymore. So Spot Healing Brush tool, and then just start wiping this out a little bit. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can zoom out, and honestly, this already looks really good. One thing I like doing is adding some text to make your thumbnails like a little more clickbait. So for text, I like using Furor, or however you pronounce that. You just click anywhere, and then you can add some text. I'll make mine tutorial, because this is gonna be the thumbnail for my tutorial video. So once you're clicking on that, I just like to make it a little bigger. I like having my text in white instead of black. So once we do that, we can right click on this again. We want to make sure it's here so that we can have it behind our gun. So like we want to have it under the background, or we want to have it under, this is a little confusing, gun. We want to have it under our gun so that it's behind the gun and not in front of the gun. So to add some more things to it, I like to add the outer glow again. Not too much, just a little bit though. And then I like to add a little drop shadow, also not too much, just a little bit. And then we're gonna go to edit, free transform. That way you can like transform it yourself. Maybe I'll do like a little stroke on the outside, because there's a lot of white going on here. So if I add a stroke, it's gonna be easier to read. So that's all like little things that I like thinking about when I'm doing this. So yeah, there you go. That's how I edit my thumbnails. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Like I said, I'm not a professional in this. Like I've never used Photoshop or anything like that. I legit started making my own thumbnails about a week ago. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something from this. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. Also like and subscribe. It's gonna help my channel grow a lot. So I really appreciate it if you guys could do that. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot. I'm excited to see all of your guys' thumbnails as well. So that being said, I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.